Have you ever wondered what would happen if World War III was to happen? A question that, let's be honest, lurks in the back of our minds, especially in these turbulent times. Today, we're going to delve into this thought-provoking topic. We'll explore the potential scenarios, the possible chain reactions, and the likely outcomes that such a catastrophic event would trigger. We'll journey through history, looking for lessons that past global conflicts can offer us. We'll unravel the domino effect, where one event sets off a chain reaction that could lead to a global conflict. We'll delve into the war for resources, a potential catalyst for the next world war. We'll also examine the looming nuclear threat that adds a terrifying layer to modern warfare. Finally, we'll look at the aftermath, the world that could emerge from the ashes of such a devastating conflict. So, without further ado, let's delve into the chaotic world of global warfare. To understand the potential chaos, we must first look back at the past. The First World War, often referred to as the Great War, was a conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation. Sparked in 1914 by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, it quickly escalated into a full-scale war involving over 30 nations. This war was marked by its deadly trench warfare and the introduction of new military technologies, such as tanks and aircraft. After 4 long years of fighting, the war ended in 1918 with the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, which left a sense of dissatisfaction and resentment in Germany due to the harsh penalties imposed. Fast forward 2 decades to the outbreak of World War II. The seeds of discontent sown by the Treaty of Versailles, coupled with the rise of fascism and the economic depression of the 30s, led to the most widespread war in history. This war saw the horrific atrocities of the Holocaust, the use of atomic bombs in warfare, and the birth of the United Nations. It was a war that changed the face of the globe, ending empires, forging new nations, and setting the stage for the Cold War. World War I and II were defining moments in human history. They brought about significant changes in political structures, economic systems, and social norms. They witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the emergence of new ideologies, and the development of technologies that continue to shape our world today. They were wars of ideologies, resources, and ambition, causing untold devastation and loss of life. These wars shaped the world as we know it. But what if there was a third? As we delve into this hypothetical scenario, remember the lessons from our past. The consequences of such a war, given our current technological capabilities and global interconnectedness, would undoubtedly be far-reaching and catastrophic. So let's tread carefully as we explore the potential outcomes of a third world war. War is not an isolated event, it's a cascade of catastrophes. This rings true especially for a conflict of the magnitude of a world war. The repercussions would be far-reaching and devastating, impacting every facet of our lives, from economy to politics, and most importantly, human lives. Let's talk about the economy first. The global economy is an intricate web of interdependent relationships. A war of this scale would disrupt this delicate balance. Trade routes could be blocked, causing a significant disruption in the supply chain. The result? Skyrocketing prices of essential commodities and a potential global economic recession. And remember, the aftermath of an economic downturn isn't just about numbers on a screen. It's about real people losing their jobs, their homes, and their ability to provide for their families. Moving on to politics, World War III would undoubtedly redraw the world's political map. The balance of power could shift dramatically, resulting in new alliances, rivalries, and potentially the emergence of new global superpowers. In the midst of this political upheaval, the principles of democracy and human rights could be pushed to the back burner, leading to an era of uncertainty and instability. But above all, the most profound impact of such a conflict would be on human lives. The loss of life would be immeasurable, not just the soldiers on the front lines, but countless innocent civilians caught in the crossfire. The psychological trauma would echo through generations, leaving a lasting scar on humanity. In essence, a third world war would set off a domino effect of catastrophic events, spiraling out of control. It would be a test of our resilience, our unity, and our shared commitment to peace. It's a test we must strive to avoid at all costs. The ripple effects of such a war would be felt far and wide. Let's remember this as we continue to explore the potential consequences of World War III in our upcoming scenes. In a world already grappling with resource shortages, what would a war mean? Let's take a moment to ponder over this. A global conflict would undoubtedly exacerbate the current resource crunch, stretching the limits of our already dwindling supplies. Take oil, for instance. It's not just the lifeblood of modern transportation, but also a critical component of the military machinery. Tanks, jets, warships, they all rely on oil. But as we all know, oil reserves are not infinite. A world at war would see a drastic spike in oil consumption, accelerating the rate at which we deplete these reserves. And when oil runs low, economies stutter, societies falter, and the world as we know it changes irrevocably. And then there's water, the most basic of human needs. In a war scenario, clean water becomes a luxury not everyone can afford. The damage to infrastructure, the contamination of water sources, and the displacement of people all contribute to water scarcity. This scarcity then becomes a powerful weapon used to control populations and shape the course of the conflict. But perhaps the most immediate impact would be on food supplies. Farms would be abandoned as men and women are called to fight. Trade routes would be disrupted, making it harder for food to reach where it's needed most. And let's not forget the inevitable economic downturn that war brings, making it harder for people to afford food, even if it's available. In essence, a global conflict would not just be a battle of armies, but also a war of resources. It would be a struggle for survival, a fight for the very things we take for granted in times of peace. So, as we contemplate the possibility of a third world war, let's remember that the real casualties might not be those on the battlefield, but rather the resources that sustain our lives. A war wouldn't just be fought with guns and bombs, but with resources. The elephant in the room, nuclear weapons. We can't skirt around the issue any longer. These weapons of mass destruction, with the power to level cities and obliterate populations, are a chilling reality of our world today. Imagine a world where nations unleash their nuclear arsenals in a bid to win a third world war. The very thought sends shivers down our spines. But why is that? What makes these weapons so terrifying? It's not just their destructive capability, but the long-lasting effects they leave behind. Take Hiroshima and Nagasaki, for instance. The atomic bombs dropped during the Second World War caused immediate devastation, yes, but the fallout extended for years. Radiation sickness, cancer, and birth defects became a grim reality for survivors and their descendants. Now, fast forward to the 21st century. Our nuclear technology has advanced significantly since then. Today's weapons are exponentially more powerful than those used in the 40s. The Tsar Bomba, detonated by the Soviet Union in 1961, was about 3,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Consider for a moment the implications. If even a fraction of the world's nuclear arsenal were deployed, the immediate casualties would be in the hundreds of millions. And the aftermath: uninhabitable cities, poisoned water supplies, and an environment in shambles. And let's not forget about nuclear winter. This is a hypothetical scenario in which soot and debris from nuclear explosions block out sunlight, causing temperatures to plummet. It could lead to widespread crop failure and famine, adding to the already staggering death toll. But there's more. The radiation from nuclear explosions could have genetic effects, altering DNA and leading to an increase in genetic disorders in future generations. The scars of a nuclear war would be etched into our very genes. So, let's circle back to our original question. What would happen if World War III were to occur? If it involved nuclear weapons, the consequences would be cataclysmic. It's a sobering thought that underscores the importance of diplomacy and peaceful conflict resolution. A nuclear war is a war with no winners. Once the dust settles, what then? In the aftermath of such a cataclysmic event, the world would be a drastically different place. Cities would be in ruins, resources would be scarce, and the human toll would be unimaginable. The process of rebuilding would be monumental, requiring a collective effort on a scale unlike anything seen before. Amid the rubble and loss, however, glimmers of hope may emerge. The shared experience of devastation could foster a renewed commitment to peace. Nations may choose to put aside their differences, united by the common goal of reconstruction and the shared pain of loss. but the scars would run deep. The memory of the war would linger, a somber reminder of the destructive potential of conflict. World War III is a dark prospect, and it's up to us to ensure it remains a hypothetical. Let's strive for understanding, cooperation, and peace, ensuring that such a devastating event remains confined to the realm of speculation.